Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, yai da dai da dai dai bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos, Cantor. Good Shabbos, Rabbi. Great to be able to be all together to celebrate Shabbat with all of you who are watching online. And whether you're on Facebook or you are on YouTube, help us out with a tradition that we have here at Temple. When we're in person, we like to turn to the people who are next to us and introduce ourselves, get to know them a little bit better. And as we're online, we have to turn to our screens to be able to do that. And so the best way for us to be able to do that is doing what Art and Mindy and Aaron Ledger and Barbara and Mindy twice did, and to post something in our chat to let us know that you're here, that you're with us, so that we can wish all of you a Shabbat Shalom, and we can celebrate this Sabbath together. As we do that, our tradition on wonderful evenings like tonight is that we gather for a meditation style service, that kind of take a moment to let go, to relax, to do exactly what Shabbat is about, to cease from all of our activities and to just be present in the moment, and to think about something special that we can create, but really about our mission and what our world can be like as well. And Shabbat is that opportunity for us, and it gives us different ways, whether it's just through the celebration of Shabbat and being together as community, or studying words of Torah as well. And this week we open up the Torah portion, which we'll talk about in a moment, to a double portion known as Acharei Mot and Kiddushim, after the death of Nadav and Avihu, and Kiddushim, meaning holiness. We'll talk about that holiness code again, but part of that is the idea of loving our neighbors, and that love will make our world a better place. And so to set the mood for Shabbat, this Shabbat, in these moments, we join in singing Olam Chesed Yibaneh, that our world is built on that love.
Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Yadadai, Yadadai, Yadadai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Yadadai, Yadadai, Yadadai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Yadadai, Yadadai.
God will build this world from love. Those words, part of it reminds us of this week's Torah portion and what we're supposed to do. In the second chapter, or in the second portion of this double portion, we read a list of lengthy laws that talk about what we're supposed to do in order to be a holy people. It's called the Holiness Code. And after each one of these laws is given, we're told that we're supposed to do this because I am the Lord your God. Revere, honor your mother and father because I am the Lord your God. Love your neighbor as yourself because I'm the Lord your God. All these rules, and it continues on with dozens more, we're told to do because I'm the Lord your God. In those rules, they set us apart as a people, as a community, as individuals, because they were part of the holiness code that made us a holy people, which really means that it was something that made us distinct, something different, something that we were doing was not what others were doing. That's what kadosh means. So we take a moment to look within, to think about that word kadosh, to think about what it means to be a holy people. I invite you to close your eyes for a moment, to focus on your breathing. Breathe in, slowly inhaling through your nose, and breathe out, exhaling through your mouth. Continue to focus on your breathing. Something that we do thousands of times each day without noticing, without paying attention to it. Breathe in, breathing in God's gift to us, and breathe out, sharing your gift with the world. Think about, in your mind, the name of this Torah portion, Kedoshim, or the word kadosh. Repeat it in your mind. Say it to yourself, in your mind or out loud. Kadosh, Kedoshim, holiness. Picture in your mind, what does it mean to be holy? Maybe think of someone who you picture that's a holy person, or an object that's holy. What makes it special? What makes it unique? Kedoshim. What does it mean to be a holy people? What does one need to do in order to be holy? How should we act? How do we respond to our community, to our family, to the challenges of our world? What is it that we do that's different, that makes those holy acts, that creates holiness? Some of it goes to that line that we find in the middle of our entire Torah, which can be found in this week's portion, that we're to love our neighbor as ourselves. What does it mean to love yourself? What does one have to do to demonstrate that love, to feel that love? And then how do we show it to others? When we do that, when we build that love, when we share that love, when we partner with God, and we make a better world. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Let us build our world with love and kindness.
Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. And if we build this world from love, then God will build this world from love. Olam Chesed Yibaneh.
We continue with our service with the words of the Baruch Hu, our call to worship. And for our meditation service, you don't need a prayer book. You can hum along with us, sing if you know the words, or just listen to them. I know that some of you have been practicing in our Hebrew class and want to follow along with the words as well for some of the prayers. So if you're somebody who's like that would like to do that, or you just want to use the prayer book too, you can find the words of the Baruch Hu on page 20 in the prayer book for the Friday night under our resources page. Please join us in the words of our call to worship.
Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
This Shabbat, we take time reflecting on the past 6 days since last Shabbat. And in my own mind, I keep thinking, what a week. What a week we've been through with the ups and downs and challenges of our world. Monday and Tuesday, literally on pins and needles, waiting for that verdict out of Minneapolis. And relief in hearing justice being served and the guilty verdict that was announced. Derek Chauvin, announcing what we recognized as murder with George Floyd and losing his life. And right then I recognized, because something came across my computer about the portion of the week, nothing to do with George Floyd, nothing to do with the realities of our world and the racial injustices that we see, but that it was the week of Kiddushim, of holiness. And I was reminded of the mystical saying that for God, there's no such thing as coincidence. Yet at the same time, there have been challenging things in our world this week. We find holiness when we look for holiness. As Rabbi taught a moment ago, each verse ends with God reminding us that God is a part of our world. I am the Lord your God. God's presence in our lives, in our world. We find holiness when we open ourselves up to that holiness. But one of the teachings is that holiness is not what we might inherently acknowledge. More, holiness is that which is distinct, unique. We as a people are distinct, unique, because these are laws we hold on to love your neighbor as yourself. Why we have felt that pain of injustice in seeing what occurred in our world this past year. We say a prayer every night when we're together on Shabbat, Hashkivenu. Let us lie down in peace, God. Permit us to wake up in the security, knowing that we're safe and loved. Safe and loved. It's what we all deserve, what we all want in our lives. Being safe and being loved. How can we bring that more into our world? How can we help articulate that more in our world? How can we embrace that in our lives? Again, part of it, love your neighbor as yourself. Part of it is acknowledging ourselves with our strengths, our areas of growth, our weaknesses. Part of it is still loving us for who we are. And doing that We can begin to feel safe and loved, and we can exude that even more into our world to make our world more whole, our world more complete, no matter what tomorrow brings. As we fell asleep maybe on Monday, I heard many say it was difficult sleeping, waiting for that verdict. We waited Tuesday. The reality of not knowing what tomorrow brings is a reality of every day. And that's why we turn to that which we know, to our prayer. That's what we turn to, what makes us feel safe and loved. Because we recognize we have that love around us. It can lift us up, and it can help us bring it to others as well.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us with wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim.
We often use as a mantra the reality that we have certain prayers we always say, the fixed, and we need that to lift ourselves up to that which is inspirational. The keva, which is fixed, the rabbis tell us, versus the kavanah, which is inspirational. And the repetition of prayers, which we're about to enter into, the avot, the imahot, the atah gibor, those prayers, that routine is what sort of holds us together, holds our prayers together, holds our thoughts together, and gives us a chance to see ourselves as a part of something bigger, I think, on some level. And that's why, in the midst of a silent prayer, we enter the fixed prayers with the words, Yehiyu Ratzon, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you. May the words of my mouth and meditations of my heart be acceptable to you. Again, love your neighbor as yourself. It starts with yourself. Accept your own words, your own thoughts for whatever they are. Gam zu kadosh. The mystics say, whatever you think of during prayer, wherever your mind wanders, it's okay. It's holy. These words are acceptable because you are feeling them. And then God embraces them and takes them as his own, connects us together with that. Yehiyu Ratzon, may the words of my mouth, the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God.
הגיון ליבי לפניך. אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי וגואלי, וגואלי לרצון עם רפי, עם רפי, והגיון ליבי לפניך. אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי וגואלי, וגואלי. אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, ve'Elohei Rachel. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מחכה לחיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Beyond our own private prayers, do we as a community turn to friends and family who are in need of healing? As we recite the words of Mishaberach, we hope that our community who is stricken with illness and anxiety, that they're granted a refuah shlema, complete healing of mind, of body, and of spirit. Mishaberach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, ve'imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel, hu yivarech et hacholim. Merciful God, who blessed our ancestors, send your blessings to our loved ones who are stricken with illness or anxiety. To Larry Burke, Grace Geraldine Carafelli, Karen Kasman, Lindsay Cooper, Molly Cotent, Barbara Essrig, Daniel Fell, Barb Flair, Sandy Flair, Karen Garassi, Kathy Gilman, Joseph Goldring, Lola Goldring, Sandy Gorosh, Franklin Grady, Batya Batbeshia Panina, Susan Greenberg, Charles Gross, Susan Gorelnik, Hank Heiser, Helen Indianer, John Ireland, Jane Jacobs, Bruce Kay, Myrna Klein, Paulette Coffrin, Serafina Coffrin, Marta Lazar, Henry Leopold, Charlene Lazelle, Angelo Liverati, Josh Lubick, Libby McIntyre, Mike O'Malley, Zoe Marcus, Beth Margolin, Joyce Meza, Nancy Morrow, Perry Moss, Lori Moss, Scott Miles, Kate Negron, Rabbi Robert Nosenchuk, Hannah Molesky, Razel Batlea Miriam, Tamara Pesakov, Melanie Pohl, Diane Rabbit, Diane Rabit, James Raftery, Joanne Reed, Raymond Reif, Alan Rosen, the Saint Amand family, Amy Selmanoff, Danny Shepard, Barbara Storm, Mark Wagoner, Skylie Weingarten, Sarah Bodfega, Helene Wolf, all those battling the coronavirus, both at home and in the hospital, the 53,117 American troops who have been injured in Iraq and Afghanistan to date, as well as all the names in our hearts. May God grant them a refuah shlema, as together we sing.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha liavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
In addition to our prayers for healing, we ask that God's partners in healing and those whose work allows our needs for survival to be met, may they also be blessed. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors, bless all those who put themselves at risk to care for the sick. Bless those who continue to go above and beyond, everyone who puts the needs of others above their own. And bless those who continue to navigate the unfolding dangers of the world each day, tending to those they have sworn to help. Bless them in their coming home and bless them in their going out. Ease their fear, sustain them. Source of all breath, healer of all beings, protect them and restore their hope. Strengthen them that they may bring strength. Keep them in health that they may bring health. Help them know again a time when they can create breath without fear. Bless the sacred work of their hands, and may this plague pass from among us, speedily and in our days. We continue with the words of Aleinu, on page 41 in our prayer books.
Aleinu l'shbeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
One of the most important times of our prayers is preparation for the Kaddish and being able to say this together as a community. Yes, it's what draws many of us to our services, but it's a reminder of the blessings that have been a part of our lives, as painful as memories may be. It's a reminder of the gifts that we've been blessed with, that which we've cherished and we hold on to. And in saying the words of Kaddish, we affirm life. We remind ourselves that we're here, we're remembering, we're honoring, and we're loving. Part of our tradition is the necessity of saying this in a community, of not being alone. And so this past year has made it even more difficult. But I think in the connections that we're able to create, even when we're not physically together, we know in mourning, we're not alone. Whether it's 1 year or 2 years or 3 years or decades, the pain may still be there, but the comfort we can provide for one another and being a part of a family, of a community, is what we hold on to, reminding us of the blessings that we've had as a part of our lives. In that spirit, we think of those who've been taken from our midst in this past week and month, whose Shloshim we mark. Friends and family of our congregation: William Rolnick, Miles Brash, Marjorie Pensine, Arnold Slutsky, Michael Cook, Neil Sobel, Marilyn Rowans, and Fanny Zuckerman, as well as the 7,038 Americans of our armed forces who have been killed in Iraq, Afghanistan, surrounding areas to date, and the 570,463 Americans who've lost their lives to coronavirus. Linking their names and names as your types we mark on the Shabbat, those anniversary of passing we lovingly commemorate: Helen Bakoff, Kalman Bandoline, Bruce Barkin, Summers Blevins, Edna Berg, Fred Ettinger, Lester Geisman, Estelle Gurman, Daniel Gilbert, Sybil Hoffman, Abraham Horvitz, Beatrice Himmelho, Scott Randall Jonas, Anna Loveland, Gerald Mandel, Richard Myers, Bill Newcomb, Brian Passerman, Morris Pollock, William Papaskull, Florence Posar, Jane Raitt, Celia Roth, Annette Scott, Arlene Shapiro, Harvey Shapiro, Iris Shuey, Mildred Simon, Sandra Sonino, Hyman Weiner, Freeman Wilner, Shay, Celia Ziff, Helen Zuckerman. And linking their names, all the names that we do not recite on the Shabbat. Those whose anniversary of passing may have passed, but those of every faith and family who've touched our lives, those who have no one to stand and say Kaddish for them. so do we join together as one community, as one family, in joining the immortal words of the mourner's Kaddish. I know we like to share it at this time. I was waiting. There we go, a little glitch. Please join with me. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah Bi'ama divra chirute v'yalmich malchute b'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayedecho beit Yisrael Bagala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam amaya Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'nadar v'yitnaleh v'yitnalal shemed kudusha b'rechu V'yalamin kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechamata davram v'yama v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlomo Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'namav huya aseh shalom aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace and peace to those who mourn, comfort to those who are bereaved here and everywhere. And let us say, Amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, Yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. 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 Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Thank you for being a part of our services tonight. If you'd like to ask a question in Tish for a moment of Tish, please throw it up in the chat and hopefully it will get relayed to me quickly. We have a couple of minutes. We do have a 7:30 service for our bar mitzvah tonight to jump to it as well. So, few things to share with you. Monday morning musings, my friend and guest this week will be Pastor Kenneth Flowers from Greater Mount Moriah Baptist Church in Detroit. And as Pastor Flowers has been with me a couple times this past year as really a luminary and someone who's helped teach and guide me in the midst of the challenges of racial injustice and the things we see in our world. And so he and I were talking and texting throughout the day on Monday and Tuesday. And after the verdict came down, we were talking about what's next. What can we be doing next? And so that will be our conversation on Monday morning. So join us at 9 a.m. to see that live. It will be staying on our YouTube and on Facebook as well if you'd like to watch it afterwards. A week later, on May 2nd, on Sunday morning at 11 a.m., thanks to Temple Shir Shalom and the Brotherhood, who's also sponsoring it, Dr. Rabbi Eli Abadi, who is the Chief Rabbi of the United Arab Emirates, will be with us and sharing as well on Zoom. So you have to register to get the Zoom link for that, but really should be a fascinating opportunity to learn from someone who has taken on this new position. Dr. Abadi, he's both a doctor and a rabbi. He comes from Lebanon, and so is of Arab origin himself, and has a great frame of reference in looking at the perspective there, and has been welcomed to this new position as the rabbi of United Arab Emirates. Hey, on Monday afternoon, our golf outing, our spring golf outing. If you'd like to register and you haven't had a chance to yet, let us know. We'll see how we can get you in there, but it should be a great time. 18 holes, a shotgun start, all that good stuff as well. I don't know, Cantor, there's so many things going on, but I'll leave it at that for now. Jan asks the question, Jan Minch, good to see you. Oh, to feel your presence here, about Shtisel and the Netflix show. And I know it spanned some years, but accurate is to be, yeah, it is accurate as the realities of Orthodox life. Well, that's ultra Orthodox, the community that Kiva is in, that he's grown up in, and the challenges that he's facing. He gets to choose his bride, so to speak, but in a certain confine. He has to meet her, and you'll see when you visit Jerusalem, my kids always get a big kick out of this, because the nicer hotels, their lobbies are public places where the Orthodox will have their arranged meetings with their, potential boy and girl to see if they can meet safely and begin a healthy relationship. Never alone as well. So, yeah, I mean, if you were in New York City or in New Jersey, some of the Orthodox communities there, that's what it is. That's what it's like in the ultra-Orthodox world, and why your rabbis in Cantor aren't a part of that world. So, and there's beauty in it as well, and but really fascinating. And Jan, my wife and I, we're hooked on it right now. We started watching it, I don't know, a year ago, and because of subtitles, and Leslie knitting, I don't know, we just didn't get into it, right? And then people kept telling us, and we finally, a few weeks ago, and now we can't stop. So there you have it. Any other questions? I recommend it for those who haven't had a chance to watch on Netflix. It really is something worthwhile. So, hey, if you haven't heard, we're going to start outdoor services every Friday night in June, God willing, June 4th. That will be the first Friday. We're doing one May 14th. It's our high school graduation, and it's always a beautiful service where our high school seniors speak about their perspective, what temple and Judaism means to them as they embark on the next adventure in life. And always love that service. It will be both online and in person. However, being the first outdoor service, we're limiting the numbers who can be there. So you need to RSVP for that. And we'll see how that's going. We're looking at 100 people to be present at that service. I know probably more want to. We will broadcast it from outdoors. We're having multiple cameras so that we can have this kind of more intimate experience. It won't be just, a little pinhead shot of like Cantor and me in a giant stadium. Not that we want to go into a giant stadium. Though I did learn from Rabbi Mike Moskowitz, my colleague in New York, who has taught alongside me and is just a great scholar. The synagogue where he's scholar in residence, Congregation Bet Simchat Torah, they do their high holiday services in the Javits Center in New York City. 5,000 people come to their high holiday services, and they set it up, and he says it's really so cool. Who is the most famous or well-known member of Temple? Is the question asked. Rabbi Daniel Schwartz. Benjamin Siegel.
I would say, based on the chat and the YouTube page, that would be Art Fishman.
Right. He's our virtual usher. Oh, Aaron Krickstein, for those who like tennis, when he was in the U.S. Open, what was that, in the 90s, early 90s, I think it was 91. Oh, Adam Grant is thrown out there, right? Professor at, is it Penn? I think he's a professor right now in Wharton, a business luminary, and was bar mitzvah to Temple Shir Shalom. These are people who grew up at Temple but not be a member today. That's the question. So interesting. Well, let's give thanks for the sweetness of this day as we raise, Danny Kornfeld on Broadway too, right? I'm raising our glass of wine together. Yikes. And we sing with Cantor.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen. L'chaim. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God protect us. May God honor us and love us.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'choneka.
May God shine upon you, and may God shine through you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
God always be a part of who we are as individuals, as a community. Give us all our hopes, all our blessings. Most of all, giving us shalom, peace in our heart, in our mind, and helping us bring more peace into our world.
V'yasem lecha shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.